I need to tell you about the night my wife accidentally handed me the cleanest exit line of my life. Didn't even realize she was doing it. We'd been married 6 years. Not horrible, not amazing either. Just, somewhere around year 4, things started shifting. She landed this new job at a consulting firm downtown, made new friends, started going out more. At first, I didn't trip. People need space. Their own life. I get that. Then came Marcus. Marcus this. Marcus that. Lunch with Marcus. Late nights on projects with Marcus. Texting Marcus nonstop. When I said it felt kinda off, she rolled her eyes and said I was insecure, said I didn't get modern friendships, said I was stuck in some outdated mindset. Maybe I was. Or maybe I wasn't blind. The breaking point. That night started like most Fridays had lately. She was getting ready to go out, again. 3rd weekend in a row. I was in the kitchen making myself dinner since she clearly wasn't planning on being around. She came downstairs wearing that black dress. You know the one. The I'm trying to impress someone dress. Makeup flawless. Hair done. Smelling like that expensive perfume I bought her for Christmas. The one she said she was saving for special occasions. Apparently clubbing with Marcus counted. You're really going out again? I asked. Not mad. Just tired. She stopped and looked at me. Cold. Detached. Like I was some annoying roommate questioning her plans. Yes, I'm going out. It's Friday. I work hard all week. I deserve to have fun with Marcus. Yes, Marcus, and some other people from work. It's not a crime to have friends. I put down the knife I'd been using to cut vegetables. It's not about friends. It's about respect. Priorities. And if you honestly don't like how I live my life, she cut in, stressing every word, then just leave. The kitchen went dead silent except for the faucet running. I'd forgotten to turn it off. She grabbed her purse, checked her phone, headed for the door. I'll be back late. Don't wait up. Door slammed. Engine started. Taillights gone. The decision. I stood there for 5 minutes, just letting it sink in. Not the words, the tone. The total dismissal. The zero concern for me or us. If you don't like how I live my life, then just leave. But. I went upstairs, opened the closet. My side neat. Her side chaos like always. Pulled out my phone and made 3 calls. First, Brandon, my college buddy. Bro, I need a huge favor. Can you come with your truck in an hour? I'll explain later. Second, my brother Dylan. I'm leaving her tonight. I need help moving. Third, Carter. Calling in that favor from last year. I need muscle. SAP. Then I started packing. 6 years of marriage. 6 years of shared space. I thought I'd feel something heavy, but nah. Just calm. Pure clarity. Suitcases from the garage. Clothes first. Personal stuff. Documents. Laptop. Tools that were actually mine. My grandfather's signed baseball. Family photos where she wasn't in them. I left everything else. Dishes, TV, we bought it together but whatever. Coffee maker, she could keep it. I took what was mine. What made me me before her. What I'd need after her. The exodus. Brandon showed up first, took one look at my face and said, "Where do you want me to start?" That's a real one. Dylan and Carter rolled in 20 minutes later. We moved like a damn SWAT team, quiet, efficient, no drama. Around midnight, Dylan asked, "You sure about this?" She told me to leave if I didn't like her life, I said. I'm just listening. He nodded. Fair. By 2:30 a.m., both trucks were loaded. The closet was wild, her side overflowing. Mine completely empty. Just hangers and dust. I wrote a note. Simple. Straight to the point. Left it on the kitchen counter. You're right. I don't like it. So I left. I took off my wedding ring and placed it next to the note. Locked the door. Walked out through the garage. Closed it behind me. Brandon asked where I was headed. Your place if that's cool. Stay as long as you need, brother. I followed his taillights through empty streets. Phone still on, but I wasn't answering anything. Not tonight. Not tomorrow. Maybe never. She wanted her life. She could have it, without me in it. Clock said 3:14 when we pulled into his driveway. I grabbed one suitcase, Left the rest for later. Checked my phone. Nothing. No calls. No texts. She probably wasn't even home yet. Set an alarm for 8 a.m. I had stuff to handle. Bank accounts, utilities, address change, lawyer. But that night, I slept. For the first time in months, I slept straight through. The aftermath. I woke up at 7:53, 3 minutes before my alarm. Felt lighter, like I dropped a weight I didn't even know I was carrying. Brandon was already up, coffee brewing. Handed me a mug, sat across from me. So, he said, "What's the plan?" I checked my phone. Still nothing. Almost 8 a.m. Bank opens at 9. Moving my paycheck to a new account. Then I'm calling that lawyer Rebecca recommended. Brandon nodded. Smart. You grab your documents. Everything. Birth certificate, passport, tax returns, car title. What about the house? Rental. Both names. I texted the landlord at 6 this morning. Told him I'm off the lease. She's handling it solo. He cool. As long as rent's paid, he doesn't care. Lease ends in August. I'll cover my part if she flakes. My phone buzzed. Finally. 17 missed calls. 23 texts. I scrolled without reading closely. The timeline was predictable. Confusion at 3:28. Anger by 4:15. Panic at 5:30. Bargaining by 6:45. Latest message 12 minutes ago. We need to talk. This is childish. You can't just leave like this. I showed Brandon. He laughed. That's rich. Yeah. She tells me to leave, I leave, and suddenly I'm the childish one. I didn't reply. Got dressed. Went to the bank. 40 minutes later, accounts were split. Manager named Richard could tell something was up but stayed professional. I moved everything except $200 into a new account at a different bank across town. Left enough to cover my half of the rent, which was already paid anyway. Clean break. No drama. No yelling. No looking back. You'll want to remove your name from any joint credit cards too, Richard said quietly. Already on it. From the bank, I drove straight to Morgan and Associates, the law firm Rebecca had used before. Her lawyer had been tough, fair, efficient, no fluff, no games. Exactly what I needed right now. The receptionist squeezed me in that same morning. The lawyer was Patricia Sullivan. Mid-40s, sharp eyes, zero-nonsense energy. Tell me everything, she said, pen poised. So I did. 6 years of marriage. No kids, thank God for small mercies. No joint property except furniture and household junk I didn't even want. Separate vehicle titles. No serious shared debt except one joint credit card I was already removing myself from. And the house rental? She asked. I'm getting off the lease. Good. Makes things cleaner. She scribbled notes. Any infidelity? Emotionally, yeah. Physically? Don't know for sure, and honestly, I don't care enough to find out. Fair, she said. Virginia's a no-fault state anyway, so it doesn't matter unless you want to pursue it for leverage. I don't. I just want out. Clean, fast, fair. Patricia smiled. My favorite kind of client. The ones who want to move on, not burn everything down. Oh, I already got my revenge, I said. She actually laughed. Yeah. I'm gonna enjoy this case. Give me 3 days to draft everything. In Virginia, you need to be separated for a year before the divorce is final if there's no agreement, or 6 months if both parties consent. She won't consent. They never do at first, Patricia said calmly. But they usually come around once they realize fighting costs money. She closed her folder. One more thing. Don't engage. She's gonna try every trick, calls, texts, surprise visits, emotional traps. Don't bite. Everything goes through me from now on. Understood. I walked out of her office feeling even better than I had that morning. This was real now. No turning back. My phone rang. Her name. I declined. It rang again immediately. Declined again. Then a text popped up. Your brother gave me Brandon's address. I'm coming over. I called Brandon. Change of plans. I'm crashing at Dylan's tonight. She figured out where I live, he said. Want me to tell her to leave if she shows up? Don't answer the door. She'll get the hint, eventually. I drove across town to Dylan's place. He worked from home as a software contractor, so he was there when I arrived. Moving in? He asked, eyeing my suitcase. Just for tonight. She tracked me to Brandon's. Persistent. Desperate. Dylan's apartment was small but cozy. He set me up in his spare room, which was really an office with a futon. You seem okay, he said. Calmer than I expected. I made the decision weeks ago. Last night was just the execution. Weeks ago? Yeah. About a month back. She stayed out until 4 a.m. on a work night. Came home, no apology, no explanation, just went straight to sleep like it was totally normal. That's when it hit me, I'd already lost her. Or maybe I never really had her. Either way, I was done pretending. Dylan grabbed 2 drinks from the fridge and handed me one. To new beginnings. To self-respect, I said. We clinked bottles. My phone buzzed again. Not her this time, her sister, Vanessa. Don't answer, Dylan said. I wasn't going to, I replied, but I still read it. What did you do? She's completely losing it. Call me. I blocked the number. Then I went through my contacts and blocked her parents, her sister, her brother, and 3 of her closest friends, the usual flying monkeys. Scorched earth. Dylan asked. Clean boundaries, I corrected. They picked their side the moment they reached out for her instead of asking what actually happened. My phone finally went silent. I spent the rest of the day setting up my new normal. Changed my address with the post office. Updated my emergency contacts at work. Removed her as my health insurance beneficiary. Canceled the joint credit card. Each task felt like cutting another string tying me to a life I didn't want anymore. By evening, my phone showed 38 missed calls and over 60 messages from random numbers. I didn't read a single one. Brandon texted. She showed up. Banged on the door for 20 minutes. Neighbors almost called the cops. She finally left. Sorry about that, I replied. Dinner tomorrow, Brandon said. You can fill me in. Sounds good. That night, I fell asleep on Dylan's futon, phone on silent, wedding ring sitting in a drawer back at Brandon's place, and my future finally feeling like it belonged to me. Tomorrow, I'd start looking at houses. Small ones. Affordable ones. The confrontation. 3 days after I left, she finally got smart and showed up at my job. I spotted her car in the parking lot that morning. She was waiting near the entrance to the building where I worked as a project coordinator for a construction supply company. Not flashy, but steady money and decent benefits. She looked rough. Hair greasy, eyes swollen, wearing sweatpants and one of my old college hoodies I'd left behind. A tiny part of me felt bad. The rest of me remembered how she'd looked 3 nights earlier, black dress, walking out the door without a second thought. I walked straight past her. Wait, she called. Please. Just 5 minutes. I kept walking. Charlotte, the security guard, was at the desk. I'd already warned her this might happen. Sir, Charlotte said loudly, loud enough for everyone to hear, is this person bothering you? Yes, I said simply. Ma'am, you need to leave the premises immediately or I'll call the police. Are you serious right now? My wife said, voice cracking. I just want to talk to my husband. He's asked you to leave, Charlotte replied. That means you're trespassing. I didn't look back. I hit the elevator button and waited. I heard her start crying behind me as the doors opened. I stepped inside. As they closed, I saw Charlotte firmly escorting her toward the exit. An hour later, my boss Samantha stopped by my desk. Everything okay? Charlotte mentioned an incident. Personal situation. It's handled. You need time off? No, I'm good. She studied me for a moment. Samantha had been through her own divorce a few years back. She understood. All right, she said. But if that changes, let me know. I buried myself in work. Spreadsheets. Supply orders. Contractor schedules. Normal problems with normal fixes. It helped. At lunch, my phone rang from an unknown number. I almost ignored it, but something made me answer. This is Marcus, the voice said, tense and awkward. I stayed silent. Look man, I didn't know things were that bad between you two. She told me you were basically roommates, that you'd agreed to see other people. She lied. Yeah, he said quietly. I'm realizing that. He paused. For what it's worth, nothing physical happened. We just talked and hung out. Don't care. I'm backing off. This is too messy. I don't need this drama. Smart move. He hung up. And that was that. The best friend vanished the moment things got real. Exactly like I expected. These guys love the thrill, not the fallout. That evening, I met Brandon at a sports bar near his place. We slid into a booth in the back. She came by again today, Brandon said. Different approach. So, asked if I'd tell her where you're staying. And? Told her I promised not to. She try the friendship angle? Talked about how long we've known each other, how I should care about both of you. And? I told her I do care about both of you. That's why I'm respecting your boundaries and keeping my word. Brandon grinned. She didn't like that. I bet her little boyfriend already dipped. Called me today, Brandon said, laughing. Whole innocent speech. Then said it was too messy, and he's out. Classic. These dudes are all the same, Brandon said. Big mouths, zero backbone. My phone buzzed again. Another unknown number. I showed Brandon. That's like the 10th number she's used. 12th, he corrected. You getting a new number? Already ordered a new SIM. Should arrive tomorrow. The message read, I know you're angry. I know I messed up, but we took vows. For better or worse. You can't just quit when things get hard. I showed it to Brandon. That's some selective memory right there, he said. Pretty sure those vows also mentioned something about forsaking all others. Back. You told me to leave if I didn't like your life. I left. Enjoy your life. Then I blocked that number too. Cold, Brandon said, but he was grinning. Factual. We watched the game for a while. It felt normal. Like I was sliding back into the version of myself from before everything went sideways. You hear from Dylan today? Brandon asked. Yeah. He said her mom somehow called his house phone. Started yelling about how I abandoned her daughter. What did he do? Hung up. Then unplugged the phone. Brandon raised his glass. Your family's got your back. Always. Around 9 p.m., my work email pinged. It was from my lawyer, Patricia Sullivan. Separation agreement drafted, reviewed, and ready for your approval. She's been served with initial paperwork today. Expect escalation. Expect escalation. Yeah, that was putting it lightly. By the time I got back to Dylan's apartment at 10:30, I had 42 new messages from random numbers. I didn't read a single one. Just block, block, block. Dylan was already asleep, so I moved quietly. Showered. Brushed my teeth. Crashed on the futon. My old phone, the one I was about to retire, buzzed one last time. Another number. I'm pregnant. I stared at the screen for a long time. Then I did the math. We hadn't been intimate in almost 2 months. She'd been on birth control for years. And even if, by some miracle, it was true, the timing made zero sense. I screenshot the message and forwarded it to Patricia with a note. Document this. It's false, but she's desperate. Patricia replied within minutes. Already noted. This is a common tactic. Don't engage. I blocked the number and finally activated my new SIM card. New number. New chapter. I shared it with only the people who mattered. Dylan, Brandon, my parents, Samantha at work, and Patricia. That was it. I fell asleep wondering how long she'd keep trying before she finally accepted that I meant it, that I was really gone. That the man who would have fought for her, bent himself in half to save the marriage, done anything to keep her happy, that guy died the moment she told me to leave if I didn't like her life. And in his place was someone who finally understood you can't love someone into respecting you. You can only respect yourself enough to walk away. False claims. The pregnancy lie lasted exactly 48 hours. Patricia called me Tuesday afternoon. She's already backtracking, she said. Her lawyer says she was emotional and mistaken. They want to discuss terms. No discussion, I said. Standard separation. Split the joint assets. 50-50. Keep my truck. She keeps her car. Everything else can be divided or sold. I don't care. You're making this very easy for me. That's the goal. But she wasn't done. Thursday evening, I was scrolling house listings when Dylan walked into the living room with a weird look on his face. Your in-laws are outside. I looked up. Here. Yep. Both of them. Sitting in their car. I went to the window. Sure enough, her dad's sedan was parked across the street. 2 figures inside. What do you want to do? Dylan asked. Nothing. They can sit there all night if they want. And they did. 3 straight hours. Just sitting in the dark. Waiting for what? Me to come out crying? Some dramatic reconciliation? A shouting match? Around 10 p.m., they finally left. Dylan shook his head. That was weird. That was desperation. Friday morning at work, Samantha called me into her office. I need to tell you something and I'm not happy about it. My stomach dropped. What's going on? Your wife called our main line yesterday. Told the receptionist there was a family emergency and she needed you immediately. When pressed, she admitted there was no emergency. She just wanted to talk. I'm sorry. Samantha raised her hand. I'm not telling you to reprimand you. I'm telling you because I've instructed the entire front desk that calls from her are not to be transferred. Period. I've seen this mess from the other side. I know how ugly it gets. Thank you. But I need to know this won't affect your work. It won't. Good. Because you're one of my most reliable people, and I'd hate to lose that. I went back to my desk feeling lighter. Having Samantha in my corner mattered more than I'd expected. New beginnings. At lunch, I drove across town to see a house. Small, 2 bedrooms, older neighborhood. Nothing flashy, but affordable and solid. The kind of place I could actually make my own. The agent, Trevor Morris, met me at the door. First-time buyer? He asked. Second. First-time solo. He nodded like he got it. No questions. Just showed me around. The house needed work, paint, kitchen floors, new fixtures, but it was structurally sound. Roof was only 3 years old. Furnace worked fine. I'll put in an offer, I said. You sure? You've only seen one place. I'm sure. That night, Brandon dragged me to his gym. I hadn't worked out properly in months. Too tired. Too stressed. Too wrapped up in everything else. It felt damn good. Lifting weights. Running. Existing in a space where none of the drama could touch me. In the parking lot afterward, Brandon brought up what I'd been dodging. You haven't actually told me how you feel about all this. I leaned against my truck. Honestly? Relieved. Not sad. He waited. I was sad months ago. When I realized she'd already checked out. When I understood the woman I married wasn't the one living in that house anymore. By the time I left, I'd already grieved. Brandon nodded. That tracks. The only thing I regret is not doing it sooner. I wasted 6 months trying to fix something she'd already broken. My phone buzzed. New number. Same area code. Her parents. The voicemail followed. Her father's voice, stern, disappointed. I raised you better than this. Walking out on your wife without even trying to work things out. Your parents would be ashamed. I deleted it halfway through. They getting nasty? Brandon asked. Starting to. Your actual parents know what's going on? Yeah. I called them Sunday. Told them everything. They said they'd already felt something was off. That she seemed distant at family stuff. What did they say about you leaving? My dad said, sometimes the bravest thing you can do is admit something isn't working and walk away with your dignity intact. Brandon smiled. Smart man. He's been married to my mom for 34 years. He knows what a good marriage looks like, and what doesn't. Moving forward. Saturday morning, I moved my stuff from Dylan's apartment into Brandon's spare bedroom. More permanent at least until the house closed, if it closed. Patricia called while I was unpacking. Good news and bad news. Hit me. Good news first, your offer was accepted. Inspections Tuesday. And the bad? She's contesting the separation. Wants spousal support. I actually laughed. On what planet? She claims she sacrificed career opportunities for the marriage. That's complete fiction. I know. Her lawyer knows. She's just throwing spaghetti at the wall. We'll shut it down. How long does that drag this out? A month. Maybe 2. She doesn't have a leg to stand on. I hung up and looked at Brandon. Spousal support, he repeated. She's really trying. That's not trying. That's unhinged. That's desperation. Sunday, I did something I hadn't done in months. I went to church. Not because I suddenly found religion, but because it was something I used to do before everything fell apart. Before I started skipping to avoid the questions, the looks, the awkwardness of showing up alone while she slept off another late night. The pastor's sermon was about letting go of what weighs you down, about trusting that when one door shuts, another one cracks open. I'm not saying it was divine intervention or anything, but damn, the timing was on point. After the service, an older couple I'd known for years stopped me. We haven't seen you in a while, the wife said. I've been dealing with some stuff, I replied. We heard. Small community, she said softly, then reached out and touched my arm. Sometimes the hardest decisions are the right ones. I didn't see that coming. I'd braced myself for judgment, for side eyes, for whispers. Thank you, I said. Take care of yourself, she added. You deserve happiness. Walking back to my truck, it hit me. The people who actually knew me, the ones who'd watched my marriage from the outside, they weren't shocked at all. They'd seen what I tried so damn hard to deny. It had been over way before I finally walked away. That evening, I was sitting in Brandon's living room, watching a game neither of us gave a crap about, when my new phone rang. A known number. I almost ignored it, but something told me to answer. Is this the coward who abandoned his wife? A man's voice. Hostile as hell. Who is this? Marcus's brother. You got a problem with him? You deal with him like a man. You don't run away like... I hung up. Brandon raised an eyebrow. Problem? Marcus's brother, I said. Apparently Marcus already ditched her. So why is his brother calling you? No clue. Don't care. I blocked the number and shut my phone off. Tomorrow was Monday. Back to work. Back to normal. Back to building a life that was actually mine. The old me would have argued, explained, defended himself, tried to make everyone get it. The new me knew better. You can't argue with people who've already decided you're wrong. You just live your life and let your actions do the talking. Family dinner. Week 3 brought the confrontation I'd been expecting. My parents were hosting their monthly family dinner, something they'd done forever. Everyone knew about the separation by now, but Mom insisted life goes on and family still shows up. I got there early to help set up. Dylan was already there with his girlfriend. My sister and her husband showed up. Normal Sunday vibes. Then the doorbell rang at 6:15. Mom opened the door and there she was. My wife. Her sister Vanessa right behind her. I'm sorry to just show up, she said, her voice shaking, but he won't return my calls and we need to talk. My dad stepped into the doorway. This isn't the place. Please, she said. I just need 5 minutes. That's it. Mom looked at me. I shook my head. I think you should leave, Mom said gently but firm. Mrs. Parker, please, she begged. I love your son. I made mistakes, but we can fix this. I walked to the door. The room went dead quiet. She looked at me with red, desperate eyes, wrecked. You told me to leave if I didn't like how you lived your life, I said calmly. So I left. There's nothing to fix. I didn't mean it like that, she said quickly. I was angry. I said something stupid. No, I said. You said something honest. Probably the most honest thing you'd said in months. Vanessa stepped forward. You're being cruel. She's trying. She's trying now. Where was that effort when I asked her to stop going out every weekend? I shot back. When I asked her to set boundaries with Marcus? When I begged her to go to counseling? Silence. Yeah, I said. That's what I thought. I looked at my wife one last time. You had a husband who would have done anything for you. Who stayed loyal. Who actually tried. You threw that away. Don't come crying now that Marcus bounced and you're alone. Her face collapsed. Vanessa grabbed her arm. We're leaving, my dad said. Not a suggestion. They left. Mom closed the door. Dinner was quiet at first. Then my sister sighed. Well, that was intense. Had to be said, Dylan muttered. Dad sat down heavily. You handled that better than I would have at your age. I've had practice, I said. We talked about normal stuff, work, the weather, Dylan's upcoming vacation. Around 9 p.m., after everyone left, Mom pulled me aside. You okay? Yeah, I said honestly. I actually am. She destroyed herself, Mom said softly. I just stopped trying to save her from the consequences. Mom hugged me. I'm proud of you. That took real strength. Resolution. Tuesday, the house inspection came back clean. Minor stuff, nothing major. I signed the purchase agreement that afternoon. Wednesday, Patricia called. She's dropped the spousal support claim. She's accepting the separation terms as written. What changed? My guess. Patricia said. Reality. Fighting costs money she doesn't have. Marcus is gone. And people are starting to realize she's not the victim she claimed to be. So we're done. Not quite. Still paperwork. But the hard part's over. 6 months and you're officially divorced. 6 months felt like forever and no time at all. Friday evening, I got the keys to my house. Well, quiet, empty. Brandon helped me move in what little I owned. Took about 2 hours. Not much stuff for 6 years of marriage, he said. Didn't need much, I replied. Just needed what was mine. That night, I slept on an air mattress in an empty bedroom. No furniture. No TV. Just boxes, space, and silence. It was perfect. My phone buzzed once. Her number. I'd unblocked it just to see if she'd reach out. I hope you're happy. Back. I'm getting there. Then I blocked her again. For good this time. Because I was getting there, slowly, deliberately, one day at a time without her. 6 months later. The house filled up little by little. Thrift store furniture. A decent couch from Brandon's cousin. A kitchen table I built myself. Nothing fancy. Just functional. Just mine. Work promoted me to senior coordinator. Samantha said I'd earned it. I think she just liked that I showed up every day and did my job without drama. The divorce papers arrived on a Tuesday in October. Plain manila envelope. Official stamps. Final decree. I opened it at my kitchen table with coffee I made in the machine I bought myself. Read through the legal language that officially ended 6 years of marriage. Filed it in a drawer. Went to work. No celebration. No rage. Just closure. That weekend, Dylan and Brandon came over for the first dinner at my place. Nothing wild, burgers on the grill, beer, football on the TV I'd finally bought. How's it feel? Dylan asked. Being officially single again? Feels like I've been single for 7 months, I said. Paperwork just made it official. Brandon raised his beer. To new chapters. To self-respect, I said. Same toast as before. Still true. We laughed. We watched the game. Around 8 p.m., my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I almost ignored it but checked anyway. It was her. New number. I heard it's final. I just wanted to say I'm sorry for everything. You deserved better. I stared at the screen for a long time. Then I typed back. I know. That's why I left. I blocked the number and set my phone down. Dylan looked at me. Her. Yep. You okay? Yeah, I said. I'm good. And for the first time in years, I really was. Not perfect. Not fully healed. But good. Lessons learned. I had a house. A job I liked. Friends who had my back. Family who understood. Space to breathe. Room to grow. I learned something real through all of this. You can't make someone respect you. You can't love someone into treating you right. You can't fix a relationship when only one person's trying. But you can respect yourself enough to walk away. You can recognize when you're worth more than what you're being given. You can choose yourself. That Friday night, she told me to leave if I didn't like her life. She thought she was calling my bluff. Thought I'd bend, break, beg. Instead, I took her advice. I left. And I built something better. Not with her. Despite her. Because of me. The divorce was final. The chapter was closed. The door was locked. And I was finally free.